Hey, okay, I think that's us live. Hi everyone, today is going to be a bit of a different stream because I'm actually doing this stream so that I can make a video for YouTube. That's right. In today's video, or stream I guess, we're going to be making crowds within Dreams so that any animations that I am working on will be able to have crowds in the background without them taking up a whole ton of thermal. Because if you don't know how Dreams works, Dreams works on a thermal basis. Basically, I can show you right now. Actually, Dreams works on a thermal, and once obviously the thermal fills up, I'm actually covering the thermal. Hold on. Right. So once this thermal fills up, you can no longer add anything to your scene. And of course, each one of these little characters takes up, I think, 4% gameplay thermal and like maybe 2 or 3% graphics thermal. Which means they're quite costly for trying to fill out an entire area, especially when you've got the high priority characters that are also quite that are also very costly. Now they're not usually about 50. I think the main cast come to about 45%, and then if you add these characters up, you're looking at 68%, and then of course you've got to add on your area around that basically. So today we're going to be trying out some techniques to see what works and what doesn't, and what looks the best for certain types of crowd mechanics. So yeah, let's dive in. I did ask some of the Dream Boys if they had any ideas, because you there is very simple ones that you can do, such as just delete some of his extra bits and bobs. Didn't mean that. Delete some of the extra bits and bobs, as well as extra face for a mouth. And then you click on them. You can actually turn them to paint, and then of course you can't see it because I'm covering it, but we just basically saved 4% thermal. Now up close it looks horrible, but at a distance, not too bad. And obviously if you've got a bunch of these guys, obviously if they were different, you can that sort of looks not bad. But I always like a wee bit of movement in the distance, at the very least, because I just think that makes it feel much more lived in and better. You can obviously stretch the painting to kind of fill in all the gaps and stuff like that as well. And then at a distance, that also looks really good as well. But again, the character can't move. All of its shapes and parts are just individual paint. And it also means that if I were to say I wanted like several of these guys, what's the one? Wow, okay, so that's not going to work. It's just a cluster. So yeah, that's one way of doing it. I don't think we're actually going to go with that process, but what are these random? Hold on. Okay, so another idea that I was told was to record movement using, I think it was the action recorder. So that just records his movement. No, I'm really not sure how that works. That was like one of the last things that Media Molecule added to Dreams, but at the time I wasn't really trying to create characters, so I ended up not learning how to do it. But another one that he did say was to manually remove all the joints of the character and then just group it all back in, because obviously that saves all these different things, saves a lot of thermal. Although I don't think this technique works if I'm not going to do the first part, which is yeah, it doesn't really work. I'll need to kind of learn that technique first. Characters look cool and have such fun personality. Keep up with the great work. Thank you very much, SV. I really appreciate that. We're just working on some kind of background characters today, or rather crowd characters. Right, so if you were to I don't really know how to. I don't know that. I don't know how to like get action recorder. Oh, is this it? And then just hopefully. I have no idea how this is going to look. I've never recorded a puppet like this before. It does not seem good. It does not seem good at all. I think another easy way, I think maybe just going the route of the paint and making them paint at a distance. At least for characters that you're not really going to see. Like if you can see, that becomes a bit of an issue. And again, if we just turn that to paint. Haha! Now we've got an arm. If I flip it, we've got two arms. Okay, we've got him saved. Actually, this isn't even a level anyway. Right, okay, so unfortunately, when you paintify something, it paints literally every detail attached to their body. So if you've got like hidden things that are like a second face for a mouth and stuff like that, it will keep that as well. So if we just take this, boom. Obviously, however many movable joint sections you want. This is probably like a really stupid way of doing it because it feels a lot more kind of time intensive. Let's just let's do a leg right now. Boom. Then get his pelvis. Boom. Right, so suddenly we've got a full puppet that doesn't cost anything. Now again, up close it doesn't look great. Obviously there's certain things we can do to kind of remedy the situation, like stretching the paint so that it kind of fills in gaps, and then suddenly we're saving 4% thermal on that, and we've got the ability to slightly animate them. So boom, there we go. And just like that, we've got a character that we can, you know, we can slightly animate with like hand gestures. Now obviously if we kind of like took off each individual bit and just built out of, you know, out of each individual bit, we could like really kind of make them kind of animate however we want. But that's not too bad. I feel like it's going to really eat up the paint thermal very quickly though. I don't know how many of these you could have before, you know, it started being like, whoa, okay, you've got too many. Seems like you can have a lot. Oh, here we go. Some paintings have stopped. Right, so this amount of paintings you can have. So, I mean, this is way more than I would need anyway. But okay. And if you really wanted to like make them walk and stuff like that, you probably could do that. So like just animate them kind of, you know, walk that forward. Okay. So that's one way of doing it. It's not great though. What if we made it all one painting and then we went to do this? Ah, here we go. See, that's pretty good at distance, although the only issue is obviously that it's like, well, one, it still creates too much paint right away. So I would kind of need to be smart about how I duplicate it. It's quite a difficult process. Again, I don't really know how to do the whole action recorder thing so that I don't need to worry about individual keyframes. But let's try with the knight, because the knight is quite costly. So let's say we're making a knight that is on guard somewhere, one that's not really going to move. It might breathe, but that's about it. The only thing... And then one arm maybe, so that it can kind of, his head and body can go up. Don't really need that if he's going to be... Right, okay, let's try that. So, that... Oh, no, didn't mean that. That. paint. Oh, I meant to paint all of you. Paint all of you. And convert to paint. Okay. So now we've got... Oh, I didn't delete that other arm. God damn it. Guess I can delete these now because it doesn't really matter now because you're not going to be able to see it, and it is going to be at a distance. So, boom, boom, boom. Boom. Right, so that saved 5% on graphics. And again, obviously up close it doesn't look very good. Just kind of tighten it up a bit. Now, at a distance, yeah. To be honest, at a distance, you probably wouldn't even really need to you probably wouldn't even need to really animate them. But I'm a sucker for appearances, so let's try just animating with this just really simply. Now see, how do you... Didn't mean that. I've really never used Action Recorder to record like this before, so it's actually really frustrating. I suppose I could always just move them at the same time. It feels so I feel like there's just something I'm not getting with the Action Recorder. I've never used it, and I'm starting to see why. It's like I may as well just do this because it's so much better. Boom. Bring the arms out just the tiniest wee bit for... Oh. Keyframe. Right, okay, there we go. 3 keyframes. One is the only one that's recorded. There we go. And suddenly you've got a knight moving. I do need to add in the blue stuff up here, but because that's kind of important to the whole thing. The good thing is people aren't really going to... Oof. Sound? Okay. make that so lopsided. But to be fair, at a distance, because I'm talking like this is the distance you're going to see this character at, which is why I'm not too worried about. Right. No, let's just say that's like the night guard guy done. I'm going to redo him because I feel like if you're going to do a character, one, I need to change a couple of things about this character because just for very specific things. Right. Remove. Nope. And then you just kind of want to, for all his clothing parts, just so that he doesn't look like every other version of him, you just want to and I suppose if you're just going to turn it all into paint anyway, you may as well just try and make the character as different as possible while you're at it. Because again, these are, I literally want background characters that are just going to be, well, I mean, in the background, surprisingly enough. Right, convert that to paint. Convert that to paint. Convert that to paint. Right, so now you've got 3 individual parts where you can get like a bit of movement from it. Now, I don't want to go overboard because I also don't really know the limits to doing this, if that makes sense. Like I don't know at what point it's going to turn around and be like, right, okay, that's too much paint. I know we got quite a lot of characters like when I was showing you before, but that was also like I don't think we need to worry too much about the legs. Boom. Nope. Not boom. Boom. There we go. Got rid of 4%. Kind of looks like he's dressed up as Aquaman. So yeah, now like we can, you know, if we put those together, you know, we've got a character that at a distance can kind of like gesture, and it's literally just going to be so that you can kind of see out of your like peripherals if you're watching an animation with all these characters in it. You're going to be like, oh, he's you won't notice that like he's a fake person. And I wonder if I did this, kind of technically that ruins his skin, but I just aim it at his, oh, if I aim it just at his clothing, I can once again change what's going on. Yeah, there we go, so that he can be a different character, potentially. And then we just animate like the simplest gestures onto him. So, bring it together. There we go. Oh. Right. Now I need it all just in one go. Boom. Yep. Okay, now I can go in and it's funny because like up close this looks horrible. But you're just not going to notice it. Or at least people who don't necessarily know aren't going to notice it. And then you can also kind of get the body involved a wee bit because of how much you've don't know what happened there. And even if you just keep it to like 6, these bad boys. It is a wee bit time intensive, like just kind of getting it. But the thing is, once this character's done, I won't be like touching him again. I won't be like updating his animations or something like that. If I ever just need 2 characters in the background to like mimic talking for anything, he'll be used. And we can always just get him hands on the hips, the classic I'm listening to you pose that I do for like every character. It's just because it's like, you know, if sometimes like when you're animating and one character's talking for like a prolonged period of time, sometimes like if the other character's just staring at them, it's like weird. So I'll usually like Right, moment of truth. Let's see if this actually looks good. And we'll test it first up close. Okay, slow it down. And then at a distance. Obviously, the longer you kind of animate the look for, the better. But again, if it's a character that's going to be in the frame for like 2 seconds, that works. Because these characters here, some are going to become like prevalent characters that have speaking roles. Like this character here, she's going to have like a talking role at some point. But the rest of them were really just like background characters that kind of look nice, that are going to, you know, kind of make everything look good. So let's keep doing that. So let's do one for this guy. Don't really have a guy with long black hair yet, so and again we've got to go in and kind of get rid of his extra stuff. Come on. Can I change this to anything color-wise? Kind of becomes difficult when you've made it white or black, because the hue cycle doesn't work on it, but let's just go for it. Yeah. There we go, and then if you want to add just a wee bit of extra flair into it, because everything kind of gets mixed and matched, so it doesn't necessarily look bad if you do this. Although you do need to match the colour, obviously. There we go, so now his hair is a bit different. And boom. It's funny just how much detail it loses, like, instantly. That one. That one. And then, just so that it doesn't always look the same, because they all have like a bit of a claw hand thing going on, we'll just convert to painting. There we go. Just like that, another character is terrifying to look at, and the hands do not help. There we go for a wee bit of a fix. And then we can literally just make this guy a listener. Wouldn't that be nice? Just made this guy a listener. So that way he's always just kind of could even just have his hands in his pockets. Kind of. Actually, if you're going to do that, I may as well just delete the hands. And then you just want ever so slightly super basic movement. And because the movement is just incredibly basic, you'll just, again, never really know. You'll never really know that there's no soul behind these eyes. And then bada bing, bada boom. You've got two guys that are perfect for each other. A yapper and a listener. Match made in heaven. You'll never find love like this in modern media. And then of course the further back you go, the better. And if you've got wee red running across the screen here and the camera's kind of following them, you might register them, but you're not going, your mind isn't going to go to them. And I'm pretty sure if you could literally just turn these into that, and then suddenly, boom, you've got 1,000 different people. But of course that's going to eat your thermal very quickly, so don't do that. Right, we've got a blonde, we've got a black hair. We've got a knight. Let's go for you. To be honest, other than the arm, boom, boom, boom. And then the other thing is, like, you could just mix and match. Mix and match your people. I think that might be the... Right. And if you want, you just hue cycle that to a different dress color. You steal this. Just realised you kind of dress like Peach. Boom. Then bada bing, bada boom. Suddenly you've got two different characters. Alright. There we go. Look at that, already getting ourselves a little crowd. Oh, they're short. Oops. Oh, I forgot, because they've actually got feet under the dress that kind of boosts their height. Well, there we go. It just kind of looks like they've got a bit of a longer neck now. Oh, that's because she's also touching the ground. Whoops. There you go. So I think who's probably quite... This one's probably quite intense. So how many have we got there? 5. So let's see how many people we can actually get before it starts glitching out. Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so we can, let's just say about 20 because I've seen a wee bit of glitch in there as well. Plus, we don't want the entire scene messed up because there's all these painted characters kicking about. I think if this was like a game and you were able to actually play it, it would be a bit laggy, but because it's an animation and I'm doing it on a PS5, it's going to be fine. from up here. And we'll make this one a bit more interesting in terms of like how she's animating or how she's moving. Kind of get a wee bit of her. No, I didn't want that to go away. So as you can see over this way, huh? But not to mention this way. Move the head back. We can even though it's all one sculpt, we can even maybe get away with putting a full kind of forward on if we sell it with the other parts of her. So now this time it comes down and out. Down and out. And then it all comes back at the same time. And give it a wee head tilt. Wee head tilt always works. Don't let anyone fool you. A wee head tilt is the difference between Martin Scorsese and another director, Clint Eastwood. Okay, and then she'll do the classic talk for a minute and then stand like a wee formal woman with her arms kind of resting on each other. And then boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh yeah, she's definitely a lot more animated. Actually, it's not bad far away. Not bad far away. You know? Would these three be in a conversation? I don't know. I've not written that script yet, but if I did, it would probably go a little something like this. Q Ace of Spades. Ooh. Yeah. Absolutely perfect for what it's going to be, and it's, you know, a fleeting moment. I'm actually going to, this person is just going to be having a wee gander. Now that way when you're kind of window shopping. That's what this person's doing. Just a wee bit of window shopping. So a wee bit forward. She's literally just going to have ever so slightly neck movements. Where it's as if she's looking at something. Because obviously, like, you've got the marketplace in Soularia, and I always feel bad when I look at it during an animation because it's empty. Like, every animation so far, it's been empty. So I'm hoping that with this new amazing, never been done before, everyone's done it kid non technique, we can get some really good interaction. Because I've been writing a lot of episodes. I think so far there's about, I want to say roughly 16 fully scripted episodes, like, ready to go. And a lot of them involve being kind of out in the open and interacting with, like, other characters that aren't the main cast, because I think that brings in, just as much as, like, the main cast talking to each other brings in, like, some interesting lore aspects, I feel like them just interacting with pedestrians almost is a really cool thing. It's literally just empty. There we go. So we've got a character that's looking. If I want another one, but I don't want to be the same person, I'll literally just kind of looks at Bella a wee bit. The only issue here is now she's going to get different skin. Wait, isn't there a way to paint? I'm so sure there's a way to paint. Someone... Wait, is it this? Stamp fleck? Oh. What is it? I'm not going crazy. I'm so sure there's a way. Wait, this is completely separate. Which means if it's separate, it can be coloured separately. So frustrating. I'm 90% sure there's a way to paint. I just don't know it. But hey, there we go. At a distance, you've got a couple of people having a wee look. If I can find a way to dye this person's hair a different colour, Brush flex. No. Start new painting? No. Well, they'll be there. They'll be there. That's fine. It's not like they're going to disappear. Now the only issue is they're all pretty recognizable. In terms of how they look. Right, she's got hair a bit too similar to her, so what we'll do you know what, that's actually not a bad idea. I kinda don't have any old characters. This needs to be a wee bit darker. Still needs to be a wee bit darker. We won't go into too much detail, we'll kind of keep it like that. Okay, and this will be kind of a... Ow. This will be kind of a... just a standing character. Let's give her a wee bit of a darker complexion. After all, they are on a very warm island. Yeah, and then we'll change green, why not? Oh, it looks like she's kind of wearing purplish gloves, so that's fine. Boom. 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 And we'll also just make this one a listener. But we do have a wee bit of extra movement with it, so we can kind of give her a wee bit of head movement. No, it really doesn't make sense for that, but sometimes sense is senseless, you know? It doesn't make sense, so don't worry about ever trying to make sense. Just, you know, just do, and you will be done, you know? And then Shawazi. Boom. Shaboom. Right. Let's take this guy. We need a wee bearded man. Get rid of this dumb hat. Screw it, why not? Why not? Why does every character need the big white eye part? We'll give this character a wee bit different complexion, just so that they stand out. I actually really like the... Right, okay, so we've got a guy talker, a guy listener, we've got a woman talker, a woman listener, and then 2 women looks. So we'll have a guy kind of looker. I know it doesn't really make sense the way I'm explaining it. But don't worry. Ooh. Oh, I like the green. Oh yeah, I get more green. More green! I do want the brown boots back though. Paint them green colour that I've been using. Boom. Love it. Love it. Alright. Let's make this. Right, so we do want each individual part of his arm free for discussion. Get these parts going. We'll make his torso one piece. We'll make these parts one piece. Make his head one piece. Get them hands on the hips. Right. Okay, so the other characters tend to talk first and then hands on the hips. This guy will be hands on the hips first, breaking the mold. We can give him a wee bit of a body shift. Oh, didn't mean that. And back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. We do kind of need to make him look down because he is supposed to be having a look at some wares. Can get really interested in one. Oh. Okay. And then, as if he's talking to the shopkeeper, he'll look back up and he'll be like, how much is that one? Can I have it? Give me it, please. Can I have the 3 points of... Can I move his body into it a wee bit? Oh, that. Then it'll be back to hands on the hips. So if he's listening to the shopkeeper. And then he'll be full on like, yeah, give it, yeah, I'll take that one. It's absolutely fine. Don't even stop selling me on it. I've bought it. Yeah. And then, bada bing, bada boom. See how that looks. Oh yeah, at a distance, can't even tell. Give me it. Love it. Love it. Fantastic. Right, I think this is that's a decent kind of middle ground of enough characters that are... I can always make more because actually, let's see, if I were to duplicate these characters, am I in danger? Not yet. Danger? Oh, is that danger there? Definitely, if I do it one more time. Yeah, okay. So I could have a good crowd of them, certainly, but that's... you should also bear in mind that that's your kind of background characters. Your foreground characters are going to be standing in front of them, doing all the animation. So they're just kind of there to like fill the space in the back. Great. Well, there we go. There's a bunch of background characters. Wait, hold on. Need to make sure that everything's Neat tidy. So we've got stationary guards that aren't going to take up too much room, but they do move ever so slightly. In fact, they almost move not enough. Mistake. It's up and down. So that's up, down. Hold on. Up, down. Okay, whoops. Make him slightly over back the way. And then I want to spring this at a bit so that it doesn't feel like it's... Oh yeah. It's pretty decent. And then just the further away you go, all you can see is people. I must say, I'm actually really happy with how these guys turned out. Let's just get them all on a line. Good heights. I definitely feel like areas will definitely feel a lot fuller with these guys in the background, and obviously the more I make, because I think what we can have 3 times as much. Is that what we... Wait, what's this? Hold on. So we have 3 times as much. It is actually the knights that are taking up the most thing, and I think that's because they have the most amount of detail. So I think actually if you were to get rid of like most of the knights, it stops being a problem. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 24. 24 characters. Well, let's actually start sprinkling them. In future scenes. Background characters. Save it online, eh? Why not? Just in case. the main goal with a lot of these animations is to make sure that the areas feel lived in. And when you've got an area like New Province, which is a full little town, you've really got to sell that people live there. Otherwise, it's just not going to look that good. Now, this is New Province with 100% graphics, right? So you've got all the characters. You've got Finn and Koi. You've got a knight. You've got Sebastian, and then you've got a couple people dotted about, and that's about 100. That's 100% thermal, right? But if you were, I mean, this is supposed to be like the bustling town of the island, you know, and it's not bustling. Like you've got the the market here with no one in it. This is supposed to be like your kind of pub area with no one around it. So it's kind of like if I think actually I can play as Red, yeah. So if Red were to like run about, it's like, yeah, he's running past people, but it's like one person here, two people there, and it just feels very, it still feels very empty. So I think now, with our little assortment of background characters, just dotting about everywhere. So if we've got a knight here, because knights would be dotted about all over the shop, you know. Oh, we've also got Froggo and Solace over here, and obviously all the main characters have the most amount of thermal taken up. Although I do need to go in and kind of trim the fat here or there, because it is it's not ideal. And I also need to like resize these stalls because they're a bit small. Resize and shrink, I think. Because I can actually, then I can actually get a couple more in. I actually kind of want to redo the stalls and stuff like that, so I'm not gonna worry too much about how these look right now, because they will eventually be kind of changed and moved. But I do want to just kind of get characters in. So yeah, you've got a wee character looking over here, checking out the wares. Lovely, lovely. Make that go down a bit, because, you know. A couple of the lads outside the pub. You know how it goes. If you're under 18, you don't. If you're under 21 in America, well, it's just a silly rule, isn't it? And the thing is, like, if you look hard enough, you will see these characters like pop up over and over again, in different places. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know. Like, it's circumstantial. But it's also going to be like, if there's a cutscene that takes place in the market town, which there is in an upcoming animation, there's a cutscene that takes place in the bustling marketplace. These characters will be moved in, so these will be the characters that you'll see kind of like behind the stall and stuff like that. Versus these kind of fake characters. I do just want to see how it pans out when Red kind of looks at it from a distance. Oh yeah, see, that already looks better, and even at a distance, even though I know like what's going on with these characters and how all the details gone, the characters on the left there are fully detailed. Characters on the right there are paint, and honestly at this distance you can't really tell, and I'm trying to look on the capture card to see if it's even a bit better quality. No, you couldn't tell, especially if like the camera's like of Red walking through and he's talking to someone and you just see them in the distance. The only thing that I don't like, and it's just simply unavoidable because of the technique that I'm doing, is they don't blink. But again, if the camera's just panning past them, you're not really going to notice that. It's not really until you get up close where you can obviously start to notice the full quality ones and then the paint ones. But even still, the fact that they're just kind of looking, actually quite happy with that. I do think after looking at them interact and stuff, they probably do need a bit more animation, like to sell it a bit more. Like, so obviously when he's talking it looks animated, but when he's just standing there you can't really tell that he's moving. So maybe just, even if I'm just slightly over exaggerating, you know, the head tilts and stuff like that, because he's really good. This one here, he's really good, because he's constantly moving, and then even when he doesn't, you can still kind of see that he's like, the head is kind of bobbing and weaving, versus when he's stationary, he's actually quite too stationary. Because the regularly normal ones, they have this breathing animation, and it's just part of the puppet themselves. So they're constantly kind of like bobbing back and forward. But no, this is good. It definitely feels filler. And adding all those characters didn't do a single thing to the thermal, which is just fantastic. So even if we were to like start getting a bit cheeky and replicating them, because I really just want to kind of see like how good does it look when it is actually like properly busy, you know. Can we take you, because you do a bit of talking. And then obviously we can duplicate these ones. Although, what exactly is the thing that's taking up all the thermal for these guys? Like if I were to delete everything there, how much is she? Still 4%. So it's all the joints, I imagine. Yeah, because it's not the gadget itself, so it literally is all the joints, which is why I was told to delete the joints. Okay, well that's good to know that it's not the stuff that's making them move. Right, let's have a wee stroll down. Well, let's add these guys as well. Now this isn't actually how it's going to look, obviously. I really just want to see it all kind of slightly in action. These are also old versions of the knights. Ah, that looks so good. That looks so good. And if you, obviously if you include it with like a crowd noise, like a crowd talking noise, that'll be really good. Yeah, even like the red running through them, if you were to like have a scene of like red running up close by them, unless you really focus on like a character like going by them, you notice all the kind of frilly bits. If you unless you don't focus on unless you do focus on that, you won't even notice like anything really different because they do blend in with all the rest of the characters. So that's great. That's really, really good. I guess really I've just got to excuse me, spend like a day just making background characters, you know, and I can give them different clothing and stuff like that because they're going to be turned into um, paint anyway, so it's not going to take up thermal. So yeah, definitely happy with how this turned out. I'm really glad that I now know that I can get like a decent crowd going. And just for the sake of it, let's copy them all, right? And just have them kind of, I know this isn't really going to make sense, but because this is really what I want to see the most. Like, I want to see it all busy. I gotta make more like this guy for some reason. I really like how this guy turned out. I don't know if it's just like the green. Oh yeah, that's so good. And then moving past them, even though they're all duplicates. Oh, it looks so much more lived in now. This is stunning. Ooh. And wait, what's this for? I must have upped the graphics or something. Is it the wee people? I don't know what it is. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I can lose 5% somewhere, without losing anything like important. But what I did notice is that there's paint of everything everywhere, like these things, and the trees. Actually, these are still sculpts, but still, there's like quite a lot of other stuff that I thought would have made it bad, but that's me duplicated it again. And it's not paint. The paint is fine. Ah, this is great. This is such good news, man. Because genuinely, I was a wee bit concerned because I felt like I felt like whenever I was going to do animations that took place in what was supposed to be busy areas, it was going to look really bad. Just down to the fact that the thermal wouldn't allow decent crowds. Because if you go into Dreams and you type in like crowds, you get actually quite good ones, but they don't look anything like these are not the crowds I was thinking of. They're just crowd. Ah, there we go. So there's one where it's like actual real people. And it does look good, but like the graphics of them, because they are realistic, like just looks weird. That is pretty cool though. It is kind of cool to see them like to make something look busy. But it just goes to show that adding a crowd to certain things like really does make it better, even though they don't match, obviously, and they're kind of making everything glitch out. It's still really cool, the fact that like, oh look, the market's busy. I wonder how much we could make it get busy, like. Let's try and make it actually look busy. Kind of like what we had it just there. Because obviously the more different guys we have, the better. Oh, I think, yep. Okay, so that's the paint glitching out now. And that's with a lot of people. Although even at a distance, it doesn't really glitch out. I'm just trying to like check out the characters here. Not really glitching out up close, to my knowledge. Not even when everyone else is in the vicinity. No. So I'm not really seeing a lot of pop-in, despite having like a lot of people now. Because, in the reason why this has became like a kind of thing, if you remember the most recent animation that I done, which was this one. Now this is 98% thermal. Now this is supposed to be the town square, which is supposed to be a very busy area, but there's a very little amount of characters here. Now if I were to add to my little collection of characters now, them here. Now obviously they wouldn't be in, you know, I'm just trying to do this quickly as a okay, I'll see what I mean kind of thing. Kind of spread them out a bit better. And then you play the scene. Suddenly it's kind of like, oh, it's bustling, like,
sorry.
Red is actually like
Hey,
running
Mr.
through like a
Sebastian.
crowd of
I'm here.
people. And you don't really have enough time to focus on them.
Sorry.
Even though they are made of paint, like you
Hey,
can't
Mr.
really
Sebastian.
tell.
I'm here to pick up the spice you have for Solace.
Oh, right. You can have it if you sweep my shop first.
Deal. But I got other places to be first. Can
And
I
even
do it
in the
later?
background now,
Fine.
you can
But
see
I locked the
slight
shop at
movement.
6, so don't be late.
No
But again,
problem,
you're
Mr.
too busy
Sebastian. See
focused
you
on
soon.
like Red and Sebastian talking to actually take in like all the other people behind you. So I really do think that the crowd building that I'm doing is really going to, it's really going to make the animations pop and feel a lot more lived in, which is really what I'm after. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this very short stream, but I felt like I haven't streamed in a while, and I wanted to kind of show off what I'm working on and all the little kind of behind the scenes. These animations that I'm doing now, I feel a wee bit revitalized creatively. There, oh my god. Just purely because I get to tell Red stories again, and you know, my favorite thing is to work on lore and make up like really cool things and connections and stuff like that. So like doing all these animations, I know they've been heavily holiday themed because we started off with the Halloween one, and then technically the second one was supposed to be Thanksgiving based. It didn't really end up that way, and I was also a day late for it because I got my days wrong on what day was actually Thanksgiving. And then of course you've got Christmas and we've got New Year coming up. But the 2025 animations, they're 100% like lore grounded animations, and it's going to be really cool to kind of to kind of have to show off proper stories that aren't themed around Red meeting Santa Claus, Red dealing with a rogue Halloween pumpkin, that sort of thing, and really get into like the stories and the characters, because we've got a lot of cool stuff, and it's not necessarily going to be like, it'll always be relatively family friendly in the sense that, like, I mean, Disney is like family friendly, but I mean, Lion King is for kids, but you know, the dad gets murdered, the son gets framed, and then they fight to the death sort of thing. So like, even though it's family friendly, we won't always be like, oh, everything's cute and fun and happy. Like, I think we'll really get down to the nitty gritty of it, because you know, Red's a knight. He's a knight that has to like protect an island, and even though, because of his age and his kind of cuteness, he's often sent on missions that aren't dealt in, you know, fighting and death. I feel like there's a storyline that I really want to follow throughout the year, that will kind of that will show a bit more of the serious nature into what it means to be a knight, and the fact that it's not just like, oh, I'm a cute little knight. But yeah, thank you again for watching, everyone. I hope you had a fantastic time. I will see you. I've got a video coming out Wednesday, so I'll see you for the video on Wednesday. We've got the New Year's animation coming out on the 27th, so about 11 days. That'll be cool. And then I'm going to try and get more content videos out. I'm really trying to work on like a decent schedule so that I can like have free time, have me time, but also have time to work on things that I like. So it's all up in the air right now, but I think 2025 is going to be a lot of fun. Yes, until then, bye.